Why not just say, you know what, let's go no? You refuse. Tanga refuses to go no.
Why is everybody, the media, politicians? Well, I don't know about you, but at least for him, and I would understand why Ngunjiri would be eager for me to say no. Because first,
if you're so sure it's wrong,
can I finish?
It's doing the wrong thing. Just say it.
Do you want to say what I wanted to say?
No.
So why don't you allow me then to say what I want to say? Then you can interject.
I find, because you used me as an example.
Say what you want to say, then I'll answer.
You've used me as an example, and you said you're finding it very strange that we seem to be asking you to take a position. It's because you're a leader. As a leader, Kenyans expect you to take a position. You can't wake up and say this thing is wrong. I don't like where it's going. And then ultimately, when you're asked, do you support it or not? You're like,
So can I say what I was saying now that he interjected to say nothing? Really, one, I have not refused to take a position. I have taken a position as a responsible leader that this is not a time to draw me into a contest that is unnecessary.
It is not a position.
A contest that will be so costly to this country, Jeff. I was in a funeral today with the governor for Kiambu. I have watched in your news tonight, I think it was, I can't remember, it was Governor which county, speaking about how they don't have, Governor Nyeri, speaking about how they don't have money for 3 months. I actually kind of doubted my governor when I said that they have not received money for the last 3 months. Wambugu here will tell you, our staff, our CDF and constituency staff were only paid towards the end of last month for the last 2 months. They've just gotten their money last week for the additional 2 months and December salaries. Money that ought to have come at the beginning of the quarter. CDF, we are opening schools in January. I think January 4th.
4th.
A lot of Kenyans have had their livelihood shattered by this pandemic. 2 million Kenyans, Jeff, who are in formal employment wearing suits and ties like you, nice ones like yours, have no jobs. About close to 3.6, almost 4 million Kenyans who are in the informal sector today are jobless. They have no means to take their children back to school. CDF comes in, and Ngunjiri will tell you, like I do in Kikuyu, like he does in Nyeri. We are able at least to give these people between 5, 8, maybe 10,000 for those who are very needy. In some areas, up to 15, 20,000 shillings. We are going to the 7th month. This is the 6th month, so we are headed to the 7th month after the beginning of the financial year. We are yet to get a single coin of CDF.
And your point is?
My point is, our CS, National Treasury, has just told us we are broke. The second CS after Nyachai, I hope he will not be fired, because Nyachai said the country was broke and Moi fired him. I hope this one is not fired, because he's telling the truth. We are broke. So should we be focusing on getting into a contest between me and Ngunjiri to say yes or no, to be able to create a position? And I just told you when we were off air, when we were starting, before we started the show with Ngunjiri, I told you this BBI is very good for us, for the political class. He could easily become a deputy prime minister, he could become one, I could become a prime minister, he could also become a prime minister, or at least a minister. So it's good for us, the political class. But are we listening to the ordinary Kenyan who has no food on the table? Are we listening to that ordinary Kenyan who doesn't know how you will take their children to school in January? Doesn't know whether we are asking them to, I heard we are telling chiefs to make sure that children go to school, not telling chiefs to take masks and ensure there is adequate social distancing in our schools. I was in a school today, I told you, when I came from Sambweni, I went to the constituency and I toured at least 2 schools. And I met a principal who told me, who was showing me inside the laboratory where they have set out some isolation, because it's a new building that is yet to be commissioned for use as a laboratory. But because they're being told by government, you must have an isolation place in case someone got sick. And you just put a double-decker bed there. So as a responsible leader, I have got to ask myself, where are our priorities? And I said it last week. Our priorities right now are lopsided. So when I tell Ngunjiri that you have lost touch with the people, it's because you don't listen to the people. You want to believe that, yes, government, as you say, is heavy-handed. It ought to be heavy-handed.
No, I didn't say that.
It is only dictatorships.
I actually didn't say that.
And democracies and democratic nations like ours should not be heavy-handed. We must work and walk with the people. We must walk with the people in terms of being able to address what are their immediate needs and their long-term needs. Right, now we have put our political needs first ahead of the people's needs. And I will not get into that contest.